Hello, and welcome to my second prediction video for the UFC. This one actually being a, fight card, pay-per-view. Pretty big one at that, though we lost one of the fun fights, mainly because we wanted to see Ian Gary at the press conference, but that is beside the point. All right, so I don't know if you saw the thumbnail. Might try to make it better, might not. I made it. Looks like dog crap. I'm going to stick with it, even if my predictions are not in line with that thumbnail. I just thought it was funny. And I regret not putting Bryce Mitchell on it, even though he's going up against another, USA citizen, baby. But, you gotta, you can't. The man screamed freedom holding a Bible in his hands at another man across the cage. You can't really deny his patriotism at this point. And speaking of which, that's the first fight we're going to take a look at. Bryce Mitchell versus Josh Emmett. I think Josh Emmett probably knocks him stiff relatively quickly. That there is a chance, obviously, that Bryce Mitchell does what he did to Dan Ige and ekes out a very, very bland decision win of just kind of muscle wrestling, gaining as much control as possible and not actually doing that much damage. Personally, I thought Dan Ige won that fight by a very close margin, but judges saw it a different way. Let's move on from that. We got, Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell. I'm going with the underdog, Josh Emmett. I just feel like he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns and he's going to be able to land pretty big bombs on Mitchell, who has a great chin, but his movement's not really there. He's open to get hit. I know the Ilia Topuria fight, if he was actually super compromised as he says he was with illness and whatnot, isn't a great judge to go off of with his movement and whatnot, but if Ilya's piecing you up that bad, I'm sure Josh Emmett can land something. And if Josh Emmett lands something, you're going to get hurt. That's just the way it is. I'm going with Josh Emmett, round 1, KO, not even a TKO. Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. All right, well, I'm rooting Tony. Obviously, everyone is. He's a wacko nut job. Done some stuff that I don't like, but, Paddy's an obnoxious up-and-comer who, honestly, much less annoying this time around. It was fun to see that he was chill and he let other people do the talking. I feel like he might have just been scared of Kobe Covington because he went absolutely AWOL last night at the press conference. Made the press conference fun. Can't deny that. But I'm going Paddy by submission. I don't think he'll be able to KO Tony Ferguson. He doesn't seem to have that kind of power. He landed quite a bit on Jared Gordon, who he robbed, by the way. But he wasn't able to really do much to most of his fighters. He succeeds primarily via jiu-jitsu. And I think he's going to be able to knock Tony down immediately, get some sort of choke in, get the back. Maybe Tony scrambles, goes for a roll, and what is it, like an Imanari roll? Or a Granby roll. Granby roll is the one you try to escape from, and an Imanari roll is the one that Chris Gutierrez shot on... Shot on Yadong, right? That was something special. All right, but whatever. Paddy Pimblett, second round submission. I think he's going to figure out Tony Ferguson's awkward timing, end up timing his own kind of punches. This isn't to say that Tony Ferguson can't somehow knock Paddy stiff, because Paddy's striking defense does not exist. But we'll see how it goes. Paddy, second round submission. Taking the favor on that one. Rachmanov versus Stephen Thompson. This is the end of Stephen Thompson's career, I believe. I believe he will either retire or attempt one more fight after this, because I believe Shavkat is just going to destroy him. I think Stephen will look pretty good on the feet initially, but I think Shavkat's going to land a few things. I think he's going to be able to eat what Stephen hits him with early. And then he'll get into a clinch situation. He'll get dragged down or thrown or just tripped out or something. Shavkat will land up on top, start landing good ground and pound, and then Steven's going to try to, roll over, get back up, and we're going to see, Steven get choked out and tapped most likely. I've got it by first round submission, Shavkat Rachmanov. Alexander Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. I think that's how you pronounce it, but Brandon Royval seems like a chill dude. That being said, I think Alexander Pantoja is just going to eat whatever Brandon Royval can throw at him. I believe the only person to knock down Pantoja was Figgy. And, That was like the biggest guy to ever be a bantamweight. Not a bantamweight, flyweight, excuse me. And I just don't think, unless the chin is gone after that war with Moreno, that Royval is going to be able to put Pantoja away. I think Pantoja is going to be able to, again, eat everything. I think he's just better in the grappling department. He's got, excuse me, much more. Good night. I can't think of words right now. I'm just going to keep talking until I think of the word I'm trying to think of. I don't know. I really don't know. Skillful jiu-jitsu. I'll go with that. That's not the word I'm looking for, but that's what we're going to say. Alexander Pantoja, I think he's actually going to TKO him. I think he's going to land one big shot, and instead of trying to go to the ground, he's just going to end up in full mount and just be pounding off on Royval's face. Second round TKO. Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. Now, regardless of if you think Colby Covington went too far in the press conference, I think it was distasteful. Don't think it was necessarily too far. I mean, we've heard worse, let's be honest. I've heard worse on Xbox lobbies, like back in Modern Warfare 3 days, and like I've heard worse than that. But you know, Leon Edwards, I feel bad for him. I don't really know why I'm getting like touchy subject stuff here, but I'm going with the underdog. I'm going with Colby Covington winning a decision. I think Leon should be the favorite, and I think he's the smarter pick. I just have this gut feeling that Kobe's going to be able to drown him. I have an odd feeling that Kobe's going to be able to mix in takedown attempts, not really often getting Leon to the ground, but I think he's going to be able to land on Edwards. I think Kobe's going to be able to, again, mix it up, trick him up, get him against the cage, start doing his work, threaten with chokes if he gets him down. If he doesn't get him down, just continue overhand, not like overhands, but I'm not really like a technical guy. I haven't looked up a ton of their film. I've watched the last 3 fights of each of theirs, and fact is, in 2 fights, Colby Covington, in my opinion, won more rounds against Usman than Leon did in 3. Leon did not look good in the first Usman fight. He survived the first Usman fight, and I'm not going to say lucked out because he didn't. He landed a very impressive head kick KO of Usman in the end of the... Well, that's their second fight. The first fight doesn't count. You know, I'm not counting that. That one doesn't count. We have Usman... We have Edwards, Usman 1 and 2. Edwards looked not good in that fight. He looked great in the first round, terrible the rest of the fight until the last minute, and he landed that one kick. That one kick is all she wrote, honestly. And then to see the next one, which is honestly a little bit of a quick turnaround from what I remember for Usman. Usman didn't look great, and maybe that's just because Leon stepped it up. But Leon did what he normally does in his fights. He just kind of point fights. And Usman's fairly large lack of pressure was kind of telling. He just didn't seem to have it in him to keep pushing forward, to keep moving, to keep roughing it, to keep just going and try to maul him. And Usman never tries to take your back or threaten you with chokes. He just kind of holds you there and tries to, like, arm punch you. Kobe, he threatens with chokes at least, even if his ground and pound is, you know, lighter than me throwing a rubber ducky at you. I'm going with Kobe. I just think he's going to be able to... I think it's going to go one of 2 ways. I think it's going to look like domination either way. I don't think this is going to be a close fight. I think the first, second round are going to be really telling of how the entirety of the fight's going to go. And I believe that Colby Covington is probably going to win a 48-47, 49-46 decision. And then get that belt. I don't know. I'd love to see I'd love to see Kobe versus Islam, to be honest. I think that's a really fun matchup. I think that's honestly one of the more fun matchups for a double champ fight, even though I think Islam should at least fight Gaethje before he gets the chance to move up. I don't mind if he does that, if he moves up after fighting Gaethje or even Oliveira, though, you know, another rematch. Don't mind it, though. Oliveira's my favorite fighter. Screw off. But yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, oh well. If you made it this far, thank you. If not, you won't see this. All right. Wrapping it up, and bye.